My name is Kyoko Kisaragi. I'm 25 years old and employed as an office worker in a key company in the food condiments business. Our products boast national-wide popularity, and we hope to one day export our products. I personally hope that we'll be able to set up a child company in the USA. After losing my dad, my career is one of the biggest things that has supported me through the grief. What's up, Yuko? I'm super curious. Well, the truth is... Yeah, I'm going to get married. Oh, you're getting married. Huh? What? Hey, shh. You're being really loud. Oops. Sorry. I didn't want to tell you over the phone, so that's why I asked when you were next available to have dinner together. So you're going to marry Masahiro? Yeah, at the mixer I went to with some friends. He was so nice. So sweet. It's already been 1.5 years, hasn't it? Since you started dating. I guess it makes sense that he would propose. Plus, he owns his own company, right? Yeah, apparently it wasn't going too well when he first started out, but with a lot of effort and perseverance, he's managed to bring it up to the level it's at now. He's really thought this through. I have too. I'm going to resign from my current job and help him in his company instead. So you're going to be his first lady? I'll be his personal assistant. I'm glad you're so happy, Yuko. But are you sure? What do you mean? I mean, you were saying before about how you were worried about the stuff he sometimes did and said. You were the one that told me that he sometimes seemed like a completely different person. He's always really sweet towards me, and does anyone ever completely know and understand their boyfriend before they get married? Well, yeah, I agree, but... Masahiro's a really sweet and caring guy, if you say so. You know how he's always so considerate of Mom since she's living alone? Ever since Dad died from cancer, she had to propel herself more and didn't have any energy, but Masahiro changed that. Yeah, but Yuko deserves the best, but is this really the best for her? More importantly, I was wondering if you would be my maid of honor. I can't say no. She's looking at me with those big puppy dog eyes. Alright, leave it to me. Thank you. I'm going to make it into the best wedding ever, so look forward to it. Okay, if there's anything you need help with, I'll be happy to give you a hand. If only Dad was here to give me away, but I'm sure he'll be relieved to see how happy I am from heaven. My older sister's fiancé is called Masahiro. He owns a company in the IT business, and he spends most of his time flying around the country. Moreover, she told me a few instances in which she felt that Masahiro had been acting like a completely different person. For example, Masahiro's phone suddenly rang in the middle of their conversation, and he answered it with shouts of, "You bastard," and "Don't piss me off," threatening whoever was on the other side of the call that he was busy and that they shouldn't interrupt. And seemingly irritated by the phone call, he took his frustration out on a waitress that had done nothing wrong. My sister would defend him, saying that he wasn't always like that and that it was a one-off thing. I was sure that there were plenty more men out there that were more worth my sister's time, but she looked so happy, I didn't have the heart to argue that Masahiro might not be the one.
Kyoko, thanks for coming today. I'm so happy you could come.
Masahiro, congratulations. I'm looking forward to us being family from now on.
Thanks. I'm glad that you feel that way. Oh, and about us being family.
I was crying so much when I made that speech because I felt sort of lonely that Yuko would be getting married, but now that I think about it...
Yeah, whatever. I have something I want to say.
Oh, okay.
I hate being vague, so I'm just going to be frank with you. Tomorrow, Yuko and I are going to the registrar's office to file our marriage contract, and once that happens, she'll have my last name and be part of my family. In other words, she won't be a part of your family anymore.
What?
What I'm trying to say is that once she's married to me, there's no reason for you to keep in touch with one another.
What?
Yuko's going to be my wife, so she's got to put me first and prioritize our life together.
I don't understand.
Having you keep in touch with her will only confuse her and distract her from the duties she has as a wife to me and my company. It's for her sake too.
Huh? She's not a pet, you know.
Yeah, well, I'm a busy man, and Yuko's going to get busier too. There's no helping it. Since she'll be the wife of a company director,
You must be kidding!
Don't worry.
Why can't you let us keep in touch?
She's already agreed to buy a new phone with a new contract, and she'll only be allowed to keep in touch with a few people that I've given my blessing to.
It doesn't make any sense that we can't contact her.
I'm sorry, but I don't want either of you keeping in touch with her. It's for the best.
Wait a minute! You can't just decide that all of a sudden! For the rest of the party, I tried to talk to my sister alone, but every time I got close, Masahiro would get in the way, and I couldn't find out how my sister felt about everything he had said. I couldn't agree with anything Masahiro had said, but since my sister seemed so happy, I had no choice but to accept that that must be what she wanted as well. But I didn't know that the wedding was just the beginning of a long nightmare. I never expected him to change that much. I had my doubts about Masahiro when they were dating, but I couldn't foresee what was going to happen. What should I do? No matter how many times I message her, I don't get a reply, and there's no sign that she's read them. If it keeps going on like this, Mom's going to be really worried too. A few months have already passed since the wedding, but I haven't even spoken to Yuko once. I haven't gotten anything from her either, so she could have completely disappeared from the face of the earth, and I wouldn't know any better. I get more and more worried the more time passes. I can't just sit around waiting for her to contact me. If that's the case, then I've got to go and meet her in person. I ate the rest of my lunch and went to face the work I had for the rest of the afternoon. I didn't let anything distract me from my business meetings with my clients and the meetings I had with my colleagues in office. But the second the clock turned 5, I bolted out of the office and headed towards the address that I looked up during my lunch break. Crap, even the building has a really tense atmosphere. I wonder where he got the money to get a place like this for his company. Kyoko? Is that really you? Yuko, it's me! What are you doing here? I'm here to see you, of course. I've been sending you messages and calling for months, but you never replied to anything, so I had to come down here and see if you were okay. I guess Masahiro didn't take the situation into consideration. He's done everything and more to prevent you from being able to contact me. What do you mean? I'm sorry, Kyoko. He stopped me from sending letters, talking to friends I have in common with you. Yuko, are you okay? You look really pale. Have you been eating and sleeping properly? Well, we can't speak here. Yeah, we'll stand out here. So let's go to my apartment to talk. What about Masahiro? Where is he? Masahiro's on a business trip, so he won't see us. Alright, then let's go now, before anyone sees us. Phew, it's a lot harder to avoid CCTV than I thought. You were moving around like you were Tom Cruise. Oh, don't tease me. You finally laughed. How has it been, being with him? I feel like it's been ages since I last laughed too. It's been really tough. How have things been at home? Kyoko, all this time I've been trying to contact you, but I haven't heard anything back, so I had to see you. Oh, thank you, Kyoko. Masahiro said a lot of things to me before we got married, and the more he said it, the more it started to make sense. What has he been saying? Stuff like, you're my servant and you should be grateful I married you. What? He said that? After we got married, for about 2 or 3 weeks, he was really kind. But then suddenly, his attitude completely changed one day. I knew it. I should never have let her marry a guy like that. 2 months ago, he took me to a certain place. Huh? Where? He took me to a tattoo parlor. You might think that it's difficult to look at, but I have to show you. Tattoos? He forced me to have them done. I had already given up. But why? Why would he do this? I don't understand. Since marrying Masahiro, I heard that he's had troubles with women in the past. What kind of troubles? Verbal, moral abuse. Enough to involve the police. Apparently he would take his frustration out on the objects around him when things didn't go the way he planned. He's dangerous, Yuko. I guess he realized that he would never be able to get married because he had completely hidden that side of himself when I met him. He had even hidden it from the friends that had invited him to the mixer at the time. He's already cut ties with the friends he had in the past. How were we supposed to realize that he was such a horrible person before you got married? He had been acting like the typical nice guy just to get me to marry him. He must be wearing a mask that no one else can see. Mom would be really shocked if she saw that I had gotten tattoos. Yeah, he told me that I was marked by him so no one else would want me. I can't believe he would do something like that. You looked so happy together. My sister's arms were covered in tattoos. I don't have any prejudice against people with tattoos, but this was obviously done with the intention of chasing people away. She obviously didn't want these tattoos, but with these markings, she had been made to feel as though she was an object that belonged to Masahiro. If he thought of her as a servant, I could imagine that he was treating her like a tool to be used at home too. If she was being taken advantage of at home and at work, when was she resting? Oh, he's calling. I've got to go home right away, or he'll be suspicious. But I thought that he was on a business trip. He calls me when he's away to check up on if I'm doing the cleaning and doing work properly. He sometimes video calls too. Yuko, this isn't good for you. You can't let him step all over you like this. I'm okay. All I've got to do is take a picture of the area I cleaned today and send it to him. Why should you have to do that? You're not employed by him to clean his house. You're his wife. You've got to come back home. But how can I do that when I've got tattoos like this? She's already worried about you. You might as well just tell her what's been happening. But she's already had to deal with so much alone after Dad died, especially since she's in a wheelchair. Yuko, you've been brainwashed. Brainwashed? Yeah. There's no helping him. He's not going to change. But you've still got a chance to get away. You've got to believe in yourself again. Kyoko, thanks for always thinking about me. I'm lucky to have a sister like you. Yuko, I really am okay. I might not look it right now, but I'm still really tough. Then, at the very least, can you make a memo of my phone number? If you can't put it in your phone, you can keep the memo with you in your purse and call me from a phone booth or something when you can. Alright, if I think he might hurt me, I'll call you. Promise? You can call me for anything, even just to talk. I gave my sister a memo of my phone number before she left and saw her off. I watched her taxi drive away, and I couldn't help but feel more anxious about her condition. She obviously had been shouted at and belittled so much that she lost all sight of her own self-worth. A few days later, I got a phone call from an unknown number.
Hey!
I'm sorry, who is this?
It's me, your sister's husband.
Huh? Masahiro? How did you get this number? I don't remember telling you.
I know that you've been talking to Yuko behind my back. You've been trying to set her against me, and trying to work out a way to get her to come back to your house.
No, please, I just wanted to talk to her. I missed her.
I thought I warned you enough, but I guess I need to teach you a lesson on what happens when you defy me.
You took the memo from her purse, didn't you? No wonder I hadn't gotten any calls from her.
Hey, quiet down. You shouldn't accuse people of stuff like that without any proof.
She's told me what's been happening at home and at work.
Oh, that?
I already know how she feels about the tattoos, and about you, and life with you.
Then there's no point trying to act like the nice guy anymore.
Yeah, why would you do that to your own wife?
It's to teach her that she can never run away from me.
You're the worst.
So what? I had to act like a completely different person just to get her to trust me. It took ages before I knew that she was hooked.
I've heard that you've had a lot of problems with women in the past.
So, Yuko told you everything. I've got a reputation to uphold.
Screw your reputation! You should be ashamed of yourself.
Are you sure you want to insult me like that? You love your sister, don't you? Don't you care what happens to her if you keep on talking to me like that? It may be hard for me to make life difficult for you.
You wouldn't.
Relax. I wouldn't do anything to her physically. I'll just have to give her a few warnings. I'll leave what I do to your imagination.
You've already been physically abusive by forcing her to get those tattoos. If you do anything more to my sister, I really won't forgive you.
Did you really think that I would say, yes, ma'am, and follow your orders?
At the very least, you could stop making her suffer so much.
So it's none of your business how I treat her. Don't ever bother us again. If you really want your sister to be happy, I don't plan on calling you either. And don't take my warnings lightly.
Hey, wait a minute. She only agreed to do that because you brainwashed her. After he hung up on me, I tried redialing Masahiro's number over and over. At least now, I knew that he was checking Yuko's things after he came back from business trips. Just imagining my sister having to live in fear with a husband like that makes me want to hunt their address down and drag her back straight away. I've got to do something.
Yikes. Your sister's husband sounds like a lot of trouble. She must be suffering a lot living with a guy like that.
Yeah, I really regret not being able to invite you to the wedding.
It's not your fault, Kyoko. I had to accompany the soccer team for the World Cup. And besides, I don't have any direct connection to the bride or the groom.
I wasn't sure if I should ask you for advice on something like this, but I really don't know what to do.
It's okay. I'm glad that you're relying on me. Plus, I get why you'd hesitate.
I'm sorry. I know that you're really busy.
Don't worry about it. Now I know what's been happening to her. So we've got to act before it's too late.
I think we've got to get her away from Masahiro as quickly as possible.
I already know how tough your sister is.
We've got to think up a way to get her back home without Masahiro interfering.
I just realized something.
What is it? This is Kei Miyanohara, my boyfriend. We've been dating since we met in college. He usually works in a major sports gym that's got leisure centers located nationwide, but he's also a personal trainer to athletes that represent the country. I know now that Masahiro isn't stupid, so even if I reported him to the police, he'd probably get away with it using his conversation skills to spout lie after lie.
There's actually something I haven't told you yet. I just realized that it could come in handy in this situation.
What is it?
The truth is...
What? Seriously? You are? How did I not know that? I thought my heart was going to jump out of my chest.
I just don't talk about it that much. It really isn't that big a deal.
I mean, usually there'd be rumors and most people would brag about that sort of thing.
Well, I wanted to tell you on another occasion, when the time was right.
Oh? Do you mean as in that occasion?
I only decided to tell you now because I thought it would help your sister. So let's do what we can to get her back.
You're right.
Did you say that she was forced to get tattoos done on both arms?
Yeah. Plus it looked like Masahiro anticipated attempts to have it removed. I wonder if it'll leave a lot of scars to get it removed.
Don't worry about that. My friend's dad is a dermatologist, and he deals with tattoo removals too. He can remove the tattoo using laser surgery, and darker colors are apparently easier to remove than lighter inks.
Can he completely remove it?
I don't know if it's possible to completely remove it, but we can trust him to do his best for Yuko.
Thank you so much, Kei. I feel a lot more confident about helping my sister thanks to you.
No problem. Let's get started. We've got to help your sister as fast as possible, so there's not a moment to lose.
Yeah, I was shocked about the certain secret that Kei had finally shared with me. I had hoped that my sister would find happiness in her marriage to Masahiro, but now that I knew the truth, I couldn't let her endure that lifestyle anymore. As long as she keeps on living with Masahiro, she's sure to collapse if she hasn't already. I wonder who's calling. Hello? This is Kisaragi speaking.
You bitch! What did you do with Yuko?
Oh, Masahiro, it's you.
I want my wife back!
Your wife? I don't know what you're talking about. A guy like you doesn't seem suited to married life.
Do you really think that I'm stupid enough to get caught up in your tricks?
I really have no idea how you managed to pretend to be such a nice guy without losing character.
Stop changing the topic.
I'm sorry, but you'll have to hurry up and tell me what you want. I'm kind of busy since I'm moving house at the moment.
I'm looking for Yuko! She's not at home or at the office, and she's not answering my phone!
You finally noticed that she's gone. I'm actually taking a day off to help her move into her new place.
How dare you!
I heard that she was working as your personal assistant, so I used that to my advantage to get her out of the building your company is based in.
What?
I bet you don't remember, but I actually have a boyfriend, so I told him the truth about what you've been doing to my sister.
So what?
Does the name Miyanohara ring a bell?
Miyanohara? As in that Miyanohara? Most of my company's contracts are made with the company that's owned by Mr. Miyanohara.
Yeah. My boyfriend is the son of the owner of MoniRobo Tradings.
You're kidding. What?
Well, my boyfriend has no intention of taking over the family business. His younger brother is going to take over when he's ready.
Then there's nothing I have to be worried about.
It was nothing special. It was actually pretty simple.
What did you do?
You should know that MoniRobo Tradings has a hand in delivery services.
You mean MoniRobo Pizza? What about it?
There's no reason for you to be suspicious if MoniRobo Pizza is delivering lunch to your building, and if reception says that nobody's ordered a pizza, the first one to go deal with the problem is my sister.
How did you get her out of the building?
The only thing different about the pizza was that the box contained a note telling my sister that she can trust the man delivering the pizza and to go with him.
So she ran away with the kid that delivered the pizza. Fine. You outsmarted me. Are you happy?
She's finally free of you. Why do you think we went through so much trouble to make it difficult for you to realize that we had made contact with her?
But what about her stuff? And I'm not going to be nice enough to send it to you.
It was more important to us to get my sister out of that house.
So she only came back to the house to get her most valuable items.
Exactly. You're the owner of a company, so you often have to go out on business trips. That's why you probably used words to control my sister and make her feel like she wasn't free or capable of helping herself.
Damn it!
When I was reunited with my sister, she was still wavering, unsure of if she should really leave Masahiro. She even told me that she thought if she worked harder and tried to be a better wife, that maybe Masahiro might return to his former kinder self. At their wedding, I couldn't even get close to my sister because Masahiro kept on getting in the way. I thought that if he was going to make her happy, that I should send her off with a smile and wish her all the best. He doesn't deserve to enjoy married life, especially not with my sister. We'll be sending a lawyer to hand you the divorce papers on our behalf.
What? Divorce?
You don't have a choice. We're applying for a fault divorce.
Are you an idiot? She can't decide to divorce me on her own?
Neither will we. My boyfriend and I have a friend that's got a bright future ahead of her as a lawyer. She's already part of a firm that's renowned for their success rate.
You think you're the only one that knows a great lawyer? I own my own company. I have enough money to hire an entire fleet of lawyers. You're the ones that are going to lose this court battle.
Are you sure about that?
You should stop talking so big before you embarrass yourself.
Don't worry about me. We found out a lot about your dealings with the underworld in the past week.
What are you talking about?
Then what about the tattoo parlor that you took my sister to? I knew that it turned out that it's a place owned by the mafia.
How did you find out about the parlor?
I know that you're very close with the mafia. You should expect some visits from the police in the next few days.
What did you do? You've taken away my wife, and now you're trying to ruin me?
My boyfriend and I have been really busy this past week. We literally had no time to stop.
Damn you!
I wonder what else would come to light if we continued to investigate, but we'll have to leave the rest to the police. With this, my sister will be able to get divorced from you and will be free.
No, she won't! She's my wife! She'll never be free!
She doesn't belong to anyone. A marriage isn't a master-servant relationship.
Don't look down on me! So what if I think of her as my property?
You can threaten me all you like, but she's not coming back to live with you.
No! How can you do this to me? Damn you!
I suggest you spend your time in prison wisely. Goodbye, Masahiro. I ignored the shouts and insults that could still be heard from the phone and ended the call. This time, I blocked his number, and my sister, who had been listening in on the phone call, let out a deep sigh. It was a short marriage that had only lasted a few months, but it really must have been painful for her. She must have been relieved that she wouldn't have to return to Masahiro's house, because she began to cry, and I could barely make out the words "thank you" between sobs. It's going to be so lonely without you, but I'm so happy for you. You're going to move to America! Yeah, we're really lucky to be able to go together. You were asked by your manager to move to the child company in LA within the same week, weren't you? But I didn't think it would happen this soon. I want to say that I don't want you to go, but I can't keep you tied to me forever. You can even find someone to enjoy that everything with if you wanted. It was thanks to you that I was able to realize that I was being brainwashed. I was stupid to think that no matter what he said or did, that he really loved me. Being tricked by Masahiro wasn't your fault, but I'm sorry too. You know what? Forget about apologies. I've gotta stop thinking like that. Yeah. Hey, I wonder what Los Angeles will be like. Come to think of it, we've never been abroad. I'm so happy I continued to practice my English, even after we graduated from high school. I'm sure you'll be okay. I won't be able to make it for New Year's every year, but I'm going to try and come back to visit when I can. Tell Mom I love her. Leave Mom to me. Don't worry about us, and enjoy yourself. Yeah, we're boarding the plane in 10 minutes, so I've gotta go. Take care of yourself in America. Yeah, I'll message you when I've landed. Do your best, Kyoko. I love you. Her divorce was finalized within a matter of weeks, but she had to spend some time in hospital because of how malnourished and frail she was. We made appointments to get the tattoos removed by laser surgery, and a few scars remained. As a result, her physical strength was back to peak condition in a matter of months, and she's currently living with our mom. She's even managed to find work online, so she can work from home, and she looks like she's feeling much better too. As for Masahiro, the company he owned ended up going bankrupt, and once his connections with the mafia were revealed, there was one illegal dealing after another coming up in the news every single day. Masahiro and a few of his direct subordinates were taken in for questioning, and some of them were arrested. Masahiro had also been charged with domestic abuse, so his jail time had been increased significantly. I'm sure that he's still behind bars, experiencing the same suffering that Yuko suffered all those months ago. We're finally on our way.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this new step I'm taking with work.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder if we'll bump into any Hollywood stars while we're living in LA.
That might be a bit difficult.
But if you could meet someone, who would you wish to meet?
Hey, Kyoko?
What's wrong?
Yeah, that too. I just wanted to say sorry that we didn't have time to have a wedding before we moved. It's great that we're officially married.
Don't worry about that. Plus, we can always celebrate our marriage a few years down the line.
Kyoko.
I'm really looking forward to spending the rest of our lives together.
Talking about weddings. My little brother was saying that he's fallen in love with your sister. If they end up together, we could even have a double wedding.
Really? He likes her?
Yeah. He's always liked women that are older than him.
Well, I'm cheering him on. Yuko, I'm pretty sure about this one. A lot's happened to us in the past few years, but we're each moving forward in our own way. We'll always be thinking of one another, and if either one of us ever needs help, we'll be there for each other. Even as the plane lifted off, I was watching the trees and buildings getting smaller and smaller, but I could still feel our bond as strong as ever. Alright, I can't be homesick forever. I've got to work hard and fit into my new job and new environment.